AI is killing art. You may have heard something like that over the last couple of weeks or months. AI is worrying people, and although I don't believe it will kill art, I do believe it is a threat to entry-level artists. It all comes down to our ability to be fooled when it comes to who or what creates the art that we enjoy. So let's talk about those entry-level artists and the reasons we should rally against AI-generated art as a form of art versus a useful tool for creatives. Let's say you're a new artist with a couple of years experience under your belt. You're ready to go out there and offer your services in the form of commissions. Your prices are low because you want to attract as many jobs as possible in the eternal race to the bottom that new artists go through. The people who are typically hiring new artists are non-artists who need art for their D&D characters, for their book covers, startup businesses, or comic books. These people don't tend to have big budgets and their IPs are unproven, so there is a lot of risk involved, and that is why they tend to go for the newer artists to help mitigate against some of that risk. That's the general ecosystem of the internet. Now, with AI generated art, that could change. A lot of people who look at AI generated art cannot spot any artistic errors, and to them it looks like professional quality work. That's because it is, but we'll look at how AI generated art generates that art later. Sticking with entry-level artists, the reason that it's an issue for them is because if you're a non-artist, you're going to want to go for the quick, easy and affordable route while maintaining that professional level of quality. And so if you feel that AI generated art offers that, it kind of makes sense to go for that option, which means the jobs that would have been available for those entry-level artists to hone their skills, develop working relationships and bulk out their portfolios are under threat. Now, the goal of this video is not to panic anyone or to catastrophize this new toy, but it's something that we need to be aware of and not get complacent about it. I know some people feel that it's nothing to worry about and that most people will choose human-made art over AI-generated art. I hope they're right, but most people can't tell the difference between AI-generated art and professional quality art created by a human. So let's do an experiment. I'm going to show you 3 paintings. Can you guess which one was created by an AI? If you chose this one, you were correct. I asked a small sample size of artists and non-artists which one was AI, and they guessed correctly at a rate of about 50%. So basically a coin flip. This painting was created by Georgia O'Keeffe, but it's this one that I want to focus on. It was created by an artist called Congo, and I want to focus on him a little bit more. Congo was an English artist whose style was described as lyrical abstract impressionism. I don't know what that means either. His career began in the mid-50s and lasted until his death in 1964, and one of his paintings sold for $25,000. This is a picture of Congo, by the way. Yep, Congo was a chimp. The reason I brought this up is partly because I think it's funny, but also because it matters who makes the art. When people don't know a chimp created the art, they can be fooled into thinking that it was made by an established painter. Their views change dramatically for better or worse when they find out a chimp did make it. Is that discrimination against chimps? Maybe, but the point is the creator matters. When it comes to AI generated art, the creator barely matters. Their input is the minimum amount it could possibly be. And we're already seeing how AI generated art is impacting the opportunities of artists today. But before I get into how that is happening, I'm going to explain how AI generated art works. I'm not going to pretend that I actually know how it works because I don't. I'm not sure how my car works, so I'm not in the best position to explain it. But from what I found on Google, the algorithm has 2 sides. One where it accumulates thousands of images and one where it reacts to the input of the artist and picks out the images that best fit that input. It uses the information it gains from the accumulated images to create new images because science or something. I'm sure there are lots of technical and cool things that goes into it, but they're the broad strokes. Also, if you want to know more about AI generated art, then check out this video because I think it's really good. One of the other controversies about this AI is that it doesn't really know what it's making. So it can and will steal and plagiarize other artists' work, and this can either be pretty subtle or blatant. Take this example I found on Twitter. This is the original work of an artist, and this is an artist's output using prompts. It's not quite sophisticated enough to realize that this shape here was in fact the artist's signature. Whoops. It's not just stealing from other artists' work though, it's stealing competitions. This year at Colorado State Fair's annual art competition, first prize went to this work. This was generated by an AI program and touched up in Photoshop. Some people say that it's no different to photo manipulation, while others are heralding it as the end times for art. I don't really agree with either of those, but it's worth addressing the artist in this scenario. Can you be an artist if 90+% of the work is done by an AI program? Well, no, you can't. The defense that these artists have is that the ideas that they feed into the algorithm is the art, and the algorithm is just executing their ideas. For me, that's pretty weak. Imagine I ordered some food at a restaurant. I say to the waiter what meal I wanted and the chef cooks it. Now imagine I make the claim that I'm the chef because it was my idea for that particular meal to be cooked. That would be pretty absurd, right? Well, that's how I feel about AI artists. But does that mean we should disregard AI generated art completely? I don't think so. I think we can embrace the new technology in an ethical way. AI generated art can be a really effective tool for artists. In the context of comic books, you could use it to storyboard out your script in a fraction of the time. You could use it to bash out some ideas for character designs really quickly. It's like a more advanced version of Pinterest. When it becomes unethical is when the program is used to create the art, and my fear is that it will happen more and more if left unchallenged. Technology becomes more sophisticated and powerful at an alarming rate, and the potential is unlimited in terms of the artwork the AI can generate. That's why I'm proposing that anyone who uses AI generated art to create art should tag it appropriately. In defense of the person who won first prize at that Colorado State Fair, they did mention that it was created via Midjourney, which is an AI program. If people want to enter their AI generated art into competitions in the future, I think it should be well separate from everything else because it is so different. Hopefully that will happen. Anyway, back to the people who I think are most vulnerable when it comes to AI generated art, which are those entry-level artists. Now, for people who are looking for art for their projects, it's worth remembering just how difficult art is. And one of the best ways for entry-level artists to improve is by collaborating with other people. So when you're looking for the art to visualize your project, choose a human. Regardless of skill, humans can exchange ideas in ways that the AI just simply can't. And it's the human element of art that makes it so unique. So if you choose a human, there's more chance for your project to be unique. I've been Brinkley, have fun drawing, and in the event that supercomputers conquered humanity and an AI is watching this, I was kidding. I love our new AI overlords. All hail Skynet. Congratulations, you made it to the end of the video. That means you either genuinely like my stuff, so thank you, or you've fallen asleep. Either way, I'd like to take the next 15 seconds to let you know about this new mini comic series I've been working on. It's called Life is Comics, and you can read it on Tapas, Webtoons, or my own website. To get it a week earlier than everyone else, check out my Patreon. The links to all of them are in the description, so have a butcher's and let me know what you think. And I'll see you next week.